Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Stellar Studio Sessions. If you need to stay ahead of the digital media curve with snack-sized insights, analyses, and opportunities, then this podcast was created just for you. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Stellar Studio Sessions. My name is Richie Mashiko, and today I'm going to be talking about what your brand can learn from Emma Chamberlain. So for those of you who don't know who Emma Chamberlain, basically she's one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform right now. She has almost or above 10 million subscribers. A lot of big brands like Louis Vuitton and Vogue will work with her. They invite her out to Fashion Week and do all these promotions with her. And it's just incredible to see someone that young, 18 years old, rise to this level of stardom and influence. And the question is, how did she do it? And I think there are a lot of reasons why Emma Chamberlain became Emma Chamberlain. But I think one of the main reasons why her audience relates to her is exactly that. She is one of the most relatable YouTubers or personalities on the internet. And I think the lesson to be learned here is that a lot of the times when I see brands and corporations post on social media, their post, their content feels very corporate. It doesn't feel like someone was actually behind the screen pressing the tweet button or pressing the post to Instagram button. It feels very robotic and very non-human, and that's a problem. And I think with social media, that's a part of it is media, but another part of it is being social, and I think brands really miss out on being social. And Emma Chamberlain, like I said, does a really good job at being relatable. And one of the ways that she is relatable is that she talks about her flaws or her, she's very self-deprecating in her videos, which I'm not saying you should be self-deprecating to your brand. But what she is good at is understanding culture and how people behave on YouTube and on Twitter, right? And what I always say, social media is like a party. There's a ton of different parties. There's dinner parties. There are frat parties. There are birthday parties. And the way you behave at each of those parties is different, right? So you can look at social media the same way. The way you behave on Instagram, the way you behave on Twitter, and the way you behave on YouTube are probably going to be different. So one of the things that your brand has to understand is what is the etiquette on each platform, and how do you act and put out content on a platform in a way where the etiquette is congruent with the way everyone else uses the platform. So I think a good example of this, of a brand who's doing a really good job on Twitter, is Wendy's. And yes, the hamburger shop, the hamburger restaurant chain. And what Wendy's does a really good job of is being super relatable on Twitter. And the way they do that is through talking trash. Like, that's one of the things that people love to do on Twitter. They just like to talk trash about other people that they don't even know. And those types of tweets that have conflict, and when I say talk trash, it's not saying, oh, like, you're blah, 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 blah. It's just more of a subtle way of being sarcastic in a way that points out the flaws of something else. So what Wendy's would do a really good job of is sometimes being a little self-deprecating, but also some of the funniest Wendy's tweets are the tweets where they talk trash about McDonald's or Wingstop or other fast food restaurants. And these Wendy's tweets get hundreds of thousands of likes, and they get thousands and thousands of retweets. And they're kind of famous in Twitter culture for being that one brand that everyone loves. And I know a ton of people go to Wendy's who are my friends just because they seen Wendy's on Twitter and they want those spicy chicken nuggets. And I think the main lesson, right, is just to be relatable, understand the etiquette of each social platform, and don't come off as a robot or a brand. Develop your voice and make sure that voice is authentic. And when you post and create content for social media, make sure that that voice is being used in a way that's authentic to each social media platform. And with that piece of advice, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Stellar Studio Sessions. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get this podcast. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye. Well, that just about does it for this episode of the Stellar Studio Sessions. Be sure to subscribe for more daily digital media insights, analyses, and opportunities. And don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best daily content possible. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another episode.